Damn! Alright. What's up, guys? So, a couple people that own Yamasakis were curious about some things, so I'm going to answer those questions today. It's about 80 degrees out. Somebody said do a cold start on the Yamasaki after my carburetor update video, all that good stuff. Bear in mind, my start button does not work like the rest of yours. I apologize for the wind. It is a very windy day out. I did upgrade the carb and do some other stuff. But somebody asked me to basically do a cold start on this. That was a completely cold engine. I did put a start button here, so you'll be doing this and then giving it a little bit of gas. So you'll be pushing the start button like that and then giving it gas, whereas I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna turn the choke on, go down here, give it a little gas, and then I'm gonna switch the choke down. So I'm gonna show you how I do this, because I'm sure, based on what I've heard, you guys are having a really hard time starting these. And I've learned with these that it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold out, always use the choke for, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds, then turn it off, and just continue holding it. There's no automatic choke on this thing, so once you get it running, when the choke's on, just cut it over to choke off and just hold the throttle. What I found is that these things don't like to idle until they warm up, okay? So let me show you how I do this. We'll go through this together. So first thing I'm gonna do is reach down here. I'm gonna flip the little choke lever up. You guys know where it's at. For you Yamasaki people, you know where it's at. And when I come up here to turn it off, I'm just reaching straight up and turning it off. So after I get it started, I'm just gonna reach up there and turn the choke off. All right, so for you, you're gonna do this. You're gonna get it started with the choke on. All right, so I'm gonna do it. Here we go. So now that it's running, I'm gonna reach up there, turn the choke off. I'm just gonna hold this open for a little bit and just let it, I'm gonna find a little happy spot where it's just gonna idle while I hold the throttle open like that, and I'm just gonna hold it like this for 1 or 2 minutes. If it starts to die, I just give it a bit more gas until I find the happy place. And all you really have to do is let the engine warm up. Once it warms up, which takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes, once it warms up, you can let go of the throttle, it'll stay idling. The more it warms up, the more the idle will come down into its normal spot, which should be around 1,800 to 2,000 RPMs. So this is it. The choke is off now. I just use the choke to get it started, then immediately switch it off and just hold the throttle down a little bit. That's it. Doesn't take much, no kick starting, nothing crazy. A 1.5 or 2 minutes of this. If I were to let go right now, it would just die. Watch. Bike's not warmed up enough. I don't need to use the choke again, but I can just push start it again. She'll go. See, it doesn't like to cut off until it's warmed up, right? It wants to be warmed up before it cuts off. Once the bike is warmed up, it'll just stay running. So that initial morning startup, that's the hard one. That's the one everybody has such a difficulty with. And also, once it warms up and it's hot, it's super easy to start the rest of the day. Once it's been warmed up once and it's hot, it's super easy to start the rest of the day. That morning startup just requires the choke on and then immediate turn off. And just hold the throttle open a little bit until the engine warms up. It doesn't have an automatic choke on it like the rest of these bikes do, or a easy choke up here to be able to do that. It doesn't have one of those. You have to reach down, turn the choke on, and turn it off manually. A lot of the GY6 Chinese scooters, they have an automatic choke. So when the engine warms up, then it automatically takes the choke off and the engine goes into idle. With this, you have to do everything manually. So I just hold it around 3,000 RPMs. I'm gonna rev it up a few times and we'll see if it's ready to idle yet. Let me feel the pipe. See if it comes down into idle now. There you go. So once it comes into idle, it's happy. It's fine. It's just that initial get going, warm up the engine. Once the engine's warm, it's good the rest of the day. I could turn it off, turn it right back on, it would just start right up. Right? It's just that initial get her going thing that everybody seems to have a problem with. So that's the easiest way I found how to do it. So other than that, it's fine, right? The idle's still a little bit low. Once it's fully warmed up, it will settle on 2,000 RPMs. And if anybody's wondering how to adjust the idle, that's also really simple. I'll show you real fast, because I know these bikes don't come with a manual or anything. So let me do this. I'm gonna take you off my head. We'll come right over to the side here. We'll come down to the carburetor. That little screw, oh, apparently I need to tighten that down. That little screw right there, that's the idle screw. So if I turn it right, the idle goes up. If I turn it left, the idle goes down. So here's the idle going up. Here's the idle going down. That easy. So if you guys are wondering, that's how you set the idle. And remember, 18 to 2,000, that's where you want to be set at. So you can see that we're just below 2,000. As it warms up more, it's good to go. There you go, guys. I hope that helped. Pretty easy once you figure out how to start it every single time, every single day from a cold start. And once, like I said, once it's running, it's ready to rip. You can just turn it right off, kill it completely, come right over here, turn it back on, let this run its board, and then just push the button. Once she's warmed up, she'll just start right back up again, no problems. Rest of the day, it'll be like that. Especially if it's hot out. The hotter it is, the easier it starts. So, pretty simple. And if it doesn't, just give it a little bit of throttle to help it out, just a tad. So, yeah. Hope that helps, guys. I made that video for that one dude that asked. I hope that helped.